It is 7:31, and we're still following that developing news out of Gulfport, Mississippi this morning.
An investigation is underway after authorities say explosives were found at a residence.
Andrew Perez was on the scene all night long. He joins us this morning with a very tense situation, Andrew.
Yeah, it definitely was a very tense situation. I mean, these authorities, they were evacuating dozens of homes. They were doing reverse 911 calls, trying to get people to get out. It was around probably a 2-mile radius from the scene where all this live military-grade munition was found. Now, there were military personnel out there. Biloxi and Gulfport PD was involved. Federal agents were on the scene. You know, like I said, they were dealing with live military-grade munition, which they considered to be very unstable. I mean, it had already critically injured one man the night before. Now, we were kept back a few miles away from when the first controlled explosion took place, and guys, I mean, it lit up the sky. It was just, there were two very loud controlled explosions by military personnel. They were digging trenches also to try and minimize that impact. So right now, luckily everything went off without a hitch. You know, right now it's going to start the investigation. They want to find out how this military grade kind of munition got into this person's possession and what they have to do next.
And we heard reports that they were actually trying to cut it down to turn it into scrap metal, and it exploded.
That's what I actually found a family on the scene from the victim, that because he was apparently, they tell me, he was trying to cut down some of the metal for scrap metal, and it had actually exploded on him. He's actually in USA Medical Center right now at the moment, so he's in critical condition. That's something we're going to be following up throughout the day for sure.
Did you hear anything from neighbors who were like, what is going on, well, like something like this happening in our
That's
neighborhood?
The thing, the neighbors, they were gone. I mean, when authorities told them to leave, they left. I mean, it was no joke. We were about 2 miles away, and you saw the lights up from over the trees. You heard that boom. I mean, it was there. It was like I said, two quick booms, one quick flash of light, but it was loud, and for us to be that far away and see it, you know, it must have been a pretty powerful explosion.
And interesting you say they use reverse 911 because this is the middle of the night, getting people up out of their houses in the middle of the night.
It's also a very wooded area, so that's another thing, you know, it's a lot of ground to cover to try to get people out of there and make sure they understand, you know, also the people in the surrounding communities that didn't need to be evacuated, but they wanted to give them the heads up, like, you know, listen, there is going to be a loud explosion, but you're okay.
Yeah, that'd be very disturbing that time of night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, thank you so much for bringing the information in here to us this morning. We had talked to you earlier by phone.
All right, thanks a lot, Andrew.
All right. Well, we spoke to also the sister of the victim that Andrew mentioned. Now, Noddy Wilson has identified the victim as 33-year-old Dale Johnson.
She says Johnson underwent surgery at USA Medical Center in Mobile overnight and has a 50-50 chance of pulling through. Wilson says her brother often buys junk piles with scrap metal, and the munitions must have been in one of the piles, and he didn't realize it.
Now, we'll continue to follow this story for you on air and online as well. We'll also have a full report on Fox News Today beginning at 4 p.m.